So the world is becoming a messed up place. People are trying all sorts of weird things with themselves to feel the rush of hormones, which generally does not go very well. But the question is there a way to be happy all the time without any side effects and without using any money? There are two things and only two things that I need you to do to significantly boost your happiness levels. And these two things are not only based on a personal experience, they are also very well researched, and there is no way that these things won't work for you once you start doing these things. But before that, optimizing my mental health, my dopamine levels is something I'm doing for years by now. And for doing this, I had to take a bunch of uncomfortable steps, like identifying some toxic people, some crazy people, some idiots who drag me down, and removing such people from my life. Or getting rid of all of my addictions, no social media, games, anime, anything like that. And if you want me to directly help you one to one with this sort of stuff, then check the link in the description and let's continue with the video now. So the first thing that can put your happiness on steroids is people. So let's take a look at a certain rat experiment. The experiment involved putting rats into small boxes called Skinner box and injecting a needle in their brain. One rat in one box and there were hundreds of such boxes. The box had food, water and a liver. When rats press the liver, they get a shot of heroin in their bloodstream, which makes them feel good.
Press the pedal, get a shot of heroin. Press the pedal, get another shot.
And in some cases, they just kept pumping heroin into themselves to the point where they forgot to eat and would die.
So far so good, nothing unexpected. That's just how addictions work, whether it is rats or humans. However, something interesting happened when they repeated this experiment in a different environment. Instead of putting these rats alone in a small box, they transferred them in a room along with a bunch of other rats. The researchers also made sure that all of these rats were addicted to the drug morphine before starting the experiment. And similar to the last experiment, these rats had unlimited access to food, water, and the drug morphine. But this time, the rats chose to drink plain water instead of morphine. They voluntarily avoided morphine. It's not like they didn't take morphine at all, but they had significantly less interest in morphine. This experiment is one of the hundreds of experiments that prove that changing your environment and being around other people can have a massive impact on your mental health. The problem is the stupidity of our generation. For some reason, shutting yourself in a small dark room and not wanting to talk to anyone is something a lot of people consider to be cool these days. I have seen a lot of introverts online saying that they are so mature because they don't need other people, but in reality, a lot of times, it is only a justification to cover up for the lack of social skills. Answer me this: if you can have your perfect life, you had unlimited money, you are the most famous person on a planet, would you still prefer being alone? Chances are you would want to travel the world and explore all the amazing places out there. You would want to meet new people and surround yourself with people almost all the time.
Hello. Hi.
It is a very common observation that when people are happy, they talk more and they don't hesitate much to approach new people. You can notice this in others and yourself. Think of the last time you were in an amazing mood and you will notice that you were more social than you normally would be. The reverse of this is also true. When you try to talk to a lot of people, when you try to be very social every single day, your life gets much more interesting. On the other hand, when you're alone most of the time, you don't interact much with other people, your life gets monotonous and boring. Now, if you are an introvert, then I'm not saying there is something wrong with being an introvert. In fact, I'm the most introverted person that I know. But meeting new people, having deeper conversations with them, it is still going to make your life much more interesting. In the beginning, it is going to be quite uncomfortable because you don't have the social skills. But once you become good at socializing, once you learn the skill of making people open up to you, to make them comfortable enough that they start sharing their secrets with you, you will start enjoying these kind of interactions and you will want them even more. I have also made a few videos about how I became more social while being an introvert, so you can check those videos out after watching this video. And the next method to put our happiness on steroids is by buying happiness with time. So these days, people are trying to be as productive as possible. Working when eating or reading books when traveling are just a few examples of it. It does make sense after all because being productive means that you will make more money, which means that you will be more happy because more money equals more happiness. Right? So let's hear a few words from the god of productivity himself, Ali Abdal. For the people who don't know him, he is the author of the book Feel Good Productivity, and he also has a massive YouTube channel with over 5 million subscribers. A few days ago, I came across this video of him where he is explaining the concept of a book, and I think that you should take a look at it.
Oh, I love this one. Relax for the same result. A few years ago, I lived in Santa Monica, California, right on the beach. There's a great bike path that goes along the ocean for 7.5 miles. On weekday afternoons, it's almost empty. It's perfect for going full speed. So a few times a week, I'd get on my bike and go as fast as I could for the 15-mile loop. I mean, really full on, 100% head down, red-faced sprinting. I'd finish exhausted and look at the time. 43 minutes. Every time. After a few months, I noticed I was getting less enthusiastic about this bike ride. I think I'd mentally linked it with being completely exhausted. So one day I decided I would do the same ride, but just chill. Take it easy, nice and slow. And what a nice ride. I was relaxed and smiling and looking around. I was barely giving it any effort. I saw 2 dolphins in the water. A pelican flew right over me in Marina del Rey. When I looked up to say, wow, he shit in my mouth. I had to laugh at the novelty of it. I'm usually so damn driven, always doing everything as intensely as I can. It was so nice to take it easy for once. I felt I could do this forever without any exhaustion. When I finished, I looked at the time. 45 minutes. Wait, what? How could that be? Yep, I double checked. 45 minutes as compared to my usual 43. So apparently, all of that exhausting, red-faced, full-on push I had been doing had given me only a 4% boost. I could just take it easy and get 96% of the results. And what a difference in experience. To go the same distance in about the same time, but one way leaves me exhausted and the other way rejuvenated. When I notice that I'm all stressed out about something or driving myself to exhaustion, I remember that bike ride and try dialing back my effort by 50%. It's been amazing how often everything gets done just as well and just as fast with what feels like half the effort. Which then makes me realize that half of my effort wasn't effort at all, but just unnecessary stress that made me feel like I was doing my best. Man, love that. So good.
This rule applies to so many things in your life. When traveling, people are rushing from place to place. For eating, people just chuck food down their throat. And most people are just being restless for no reason at all. Your phone is also highly responsible for this because it gives you this fake feeling of being so busy and being so productive. Because you're supposed to reply to so many people in your DMs and you're supposed to scroll on Instagram and you're supposed to watch some web series or something. Once you stop using your phone completely, no social media, no games or anime or movies or anything like that, you will realize that you have so much free time and this fake sense of urgency that you have all the time, it is going to go away. But I know that most people are not going to follow it, so let me give you something that is more practical, which is savoring things. So a few days ago, I was eating some dry fruits to get my protein, but the problem was I was supposed to peel the shells of these nuts, which was quite an annoying task, or at least that's what I would normally say. Normally, I would quickly remove all the shells of these nuts and get done with it. But this time, I did something else. I took the bowl of these nuts, went to my balcony, and patiently removed the shell of these nuts one by one. I was not in a rush at all. Even if it took me 2 hours or 3 hours for doing this, I was completely fine with it. And surprisingly, it was not a boring task at all. If anything, it gave me a nostalgia of my childhood when I used to sit like this in my room and paint something on a piece of paper or read some storybook or just play with my toys or something. Even something as simple as walking can become so much fun if you just let yourself patiently savor that thing. And with that, let's end this video. Check the description if you want me to help you one to one. And yeah, bye bye.